What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Pyro RDTA. So for the third installment in Vandy Vape Week, we've got this one right here, which is the Pyro RDTA, and this one just kind of came out of nowhere. I really didn't hear too much about it before they released it, but I got an email. I said, of course, I would love to take a look at it, and let's just go ahead and dive right into the Pyro RDTA. Alright guys, so before we get into this video, I do have to state my intent by saying that I did receive this product for free from the manufacturer for the purpose of doing this video. However, it has no monetary value to me, which means my opinions on it will remain honest and unbiased, of course, as always. With that being said, I'd like to give a huge shout out and thank you to the people over at Vandy Vape for sending this my way. As always, I really love taking a look at all of their latest products. So just like many other Vandy Vape products, this one is available in a variety of different color options. You have black, stainless steel, gold, and rainbow. I, of course, have the stainless steel version right now, rocking on the F200 mod, and I gotta say, I've been loving this setup lately. So the price point's gonna be around $30, which I think is a pretty fair deal if you ask me. But if you want to save a couple of bucks, you can always go to the Chinese retailers, but then you're going to have to wait for the shipping. But in any case, I'll provide you guys with links right down there in the description below if you guys want to pick one of these up for yourself. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, as you can see here, we've got our Pyro RDTA in its original box, so let's quickly take a look around the packaging and then we'll take a look at what's inside. So, first and foremost, this is the sample copy. This is not the full retail version, so yours might look a little bit different than this one. But anyways, this is like a sticker right here. This is not actually printed on the box or anything like that. So yeah, as you can see here, and on all four sides, there's the Vandy Vape logo right there, and on the back you can see some generic company information as well. So yours might look a little bit different than that, and as you can see, we've got our Pyro RDTA right there, and the little Ultem sort of sleeve for the bottom part if you wanted to replace that, and this little Delrin knurled drip tip as well. So there we go. Let's just put that back and take a look at what we get underneath. So right here we can see we get this little tool here, little multi-tool, and it kind of reminds me of the Tech Deck screwdriver from back in the day. Did you guys have Tech Decks? I know I sure had a huge collection of them. And we have a baggie of parts as well. We have a full set of replacement O-rings. Looks like we get a full set of everything in there. And you also get, these look like grub screws. I think these are the grub screws. If you wanted to replace your Phillips headed screws with grub screws, you could do that by replacing those. And yeah, so that's kind of a nice touch, I think. And they also give you a 510 drip tip adapter as well. Alright guys, let's talk specs. First of all, it's 24 millimeters in diameter, it holds 4 mils of juice, stainless steel construction, Ultem and Pyrex glass bottom section, innovative postless quad terminal design, 2.5 millimeter by 3 millimeter terminal openings, side secured via its Phillips flat screws, 2 peak insulated positive terminal posts, 2 negative terminal posts, single or double coil configurations, mixed airflow intake system, 2 different airflow channels. It comes with a 17.5 millimeter wide Ultem drip tip and also an 18.5 millimeter wide Delrin dock drip tip, which is what they call it, a 510 drip tip adapter, and it has a gold plated 510 connection. Alright guys, so real quick, let's just go over all the different parts and pieces. As you can see here, we've got our typical Vandy Vape Ultem drip tip. It's pretty standard stuff. You guys have seen this already a couple of times on the different devices we've been taking a look at recently. And there you go, you can see the bore on that nice and wide, and it also comes with this Delrin dock drip tip. I believe that's what they call it, is the dock tip. It's kind of the knurled version. You can see the bore, again, nice and wide. It's just a little bit shorter and fatter than the Ultem tip itself. So there we go. Next up we have the top cap, the top part of the top cap section. As you can see there on the top, it has the little design kind of around the edges, which it's kind of cool, I guess, and the Vandy Vape logo right on the top part there. And you can also see the O-ring on the inside, which secures the drip tip really nice. Never had any sort of issues with that whatsoever. And there you can see the keyhole airflow. I call it the keyhole airflow design. Just kind of interesting shape, I guess. I'm not really sure what to think about it, to be honest with you guys. But there you go. You can see the Vandy Vape logo inscribed on the side there. Alright guys, so here is the bottom half of the top cap section, and as you can see there, you can see the little air inlet sections. You can see the kind of keyhole design on this part as well, and the O-ring that secures the top half of the top cap section on. Again, no issues there whatsoever, which is really great. And on the bottom here, you can see the little metal plugs that actually plug up the juice inlet section on the bottom half there. It just kind of goes into those holes, and that's how it blocks it off, but there you go. I kind of wish they did a silicone plug for this part here, but hopefully they fix that in a future version. Alright guys, as you can see, here's the build deck, and you have Phillips headed screws on all 4 terminals, which you can replace with those grub screws that you got in the box. You can see the actual terminals themselves, kind of oblong shape there, and the peak insulator. You can see the juice inlet holes at the top and bottom here. That's where you just put your juice in, put the bottle in one side, and the air comes out the other, which is great. No problems there whatsoever. And yeah, it's pretty simple. And on the sides, you can see where the wicking goes. You just tuck your wicks right down in there, and you're good to go. So pretty cool little postless design. I really enjoy building on this thing. It's super simple. Never had any issues with wicking or anything like that. As you can see on the side here, the O-ring, again, no issues with that whatsoever, holds nice and firm, and the glass piece on the bottom, which you can replace with the Ultim. On the bottom, you can see the Pyro logo, as you can see there, and of course the little Vandy Vape kind of information as well. And here you can see the gold-plated 510 connection. Alright guys, that about does it for the close-up section of the Pyro RDTA. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of this video. Now let's talk about my personal thoughts about this device, some pros, some cons, and whether or not it's worth purchasing. Starting off today with the pros, and my first pro is that it's super easy to build and wick. Now, there's nothing I like more than something that makes my life easier, and the Pyro RDTA definitely is a breeze to build on. I was able to get this thing up and running with a pair of Coilology pre-made coils in about 5 minutes. Even the wicking process was a cinch for me. Just kind of pull your wicks through and measure them down to the top of the actual glass section there, trim them off and tuck them in that little spot, and you're good to go. So with this one here, definitely a breeze to build and wick, and I can absolutely 100% appreciate that. My second pro today is that this thing does not leak, and that really impresses me because I've been using this thing almost exclusively for the past 2 weeks, and I've never noticed a single drop of juice coming out of the airflow holes. With that, it's been in my pocket, out of my pocket, every different adventure I've been on, it's been right there with me, and I've never had an issue. Even if I lay it down for a little while, or hold it upside down for any period of time, I've never had any sort of leaking issues with this one, which is really impressive. My third pro today is that the airflow is nice and smooth and it does not whistle. So I was really kind of skeptical about it when I saw the actual kind of keyhole sort of airflow design that this thing has. I was a little bit kind of skeptical about that. However, it does work and it is rather smooth. I've been using it pretty much wide open the entire time I've had it, other than the occasional time that it gets accidentally closed off somewhat. But even if you do close it off a little bit, it still doesn't whistle and it's still nice and smooth. And my fourth and final pro is the price. Now, with pretty much every Vandy Vape product, you could probably mention the price as a pro. However, with this one here, it just feels to me like it's kind of a no-frills sort of RDTA, but they didn't skimp on the quality one bit. So as far as that goes, again, the value for your money, you absolutely get $30 worth of RDTA out of the Pyro. Alright guys, so moving on to the cons, my first con is that weird little bump down section in the airflow slot. It's just kind of unusual and unnecessary. So personally, I just wish they went with something a bit more simplified, more similar to something like the Goon 1.5 or something like that, with a big wide open Cyclops eye dualed on the other side, and perhaps with a single coil option as well. But with this one here, they just insisted on being unique and different, and honestly, I just feel like it doesn't make that much of a difference. My second con is actually something that I did make mention of to Vandy Vape Vape in our communication about the Pyro RDTA, and that is, I really wish they did a silicone plug system rather than the metal plugs on the bottom of the barrel section of the top cap. With this one here, I just feel like a metal on metal sort of plug is going to eventually, wear down on one or the other, and you could end up with maybe possibly some metal shavings in your tank of liquid, which is obviously not a good thing, but I feel like the silicone system would have worked out a lot better, and I really hope they change that for possibly a future version of the Pyro. And my third and final con is this thing gets 0 style points. Now, as I mentioned in the pros section, this is the no frills RDTA, which probably kept the cost down. However, I feel like I would definitely be willing to pay about $5 or $10 more for this device if it had a gold-plated deck, or maybe just something a little bit extra that you wouldn't see on your average everyday RDTA. But this one here, yeah, definitely keeps the cost down, and that can be a good thing for most people, but I just need a little bit more out of it, even though I know it doesn't make any difference with the vapor, flavor, or anything else when it comes to the vaping experience. So at the end of the day, is this thing worth purchasing? Would I go out of my way to pick one of these up if I didn't get this one for a review? And my answer would be, maybe, kinda, probably not, to be honest with you. Honestly, I'm not really much of an RDTA guy. Personally, I go with drippers over tanks any day of the week. However, with this one here, it is a great value for your money at only 30 bucks. It's a really good deal. So I do recommend you guys pick one up if you're in the market. But comparing this to the previous Vandy Vape RDTA, which I believe was called the Perseus, this one is the better of the two. So if I had to choose between the two, I would absolutely go with the Pyro. It definitely stands out to me as the winner in that category, but in the overall grand scheme of things, it really just kind of blends in with the pack. In any case, I will have links right down there in the description if you guys want to pick one of these things up for yourself. But that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to click that notification bell right next to the subscribe button if you want to be alerted whenever I upload videos. Also, leave me some comments in the box below. I'd love to hear your thoughts all about the Pyro or RDTAs in general, or anything else you guys want to discuss down there. Of course, check out the advocacy and my social media links right in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on!